All right, we are starting a new book today. We're going to look up how to say the name real quick again. Les Miserables. Victor Hugo. I was going to check too. Right. Did I already do Victor Hugo's behind the... Because I don't think... Yeah, we're going to have to do Victor Hugo's behind the stories. All right. Les Miserables. Today we will be beginning Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. Volume 1, Fantine. Book 1st, A Just Man. Chapter 1, Monsieur Myriel. In 1815, Monsieur Charles Francois Benevieux Myriel was Bishop of D. He was an old man of about 75 years of age. He had occupied the see of D since 1806. Although this detail had no connection whatever with the real substance of what we are about to relate. I always say this word wrong. Superfluous. It will not be superfluous. That's not it. Superfluous. It will not be superfluous, if merely for the sake of exactness in all points, to mention here the various rumors and remarks which had been in circulation about him from the very moment when he arrived in the diocese. I think that's how you say that. C-S-E. Diocese. To mention here the various rumors and remarks which had been in circulation about him from the very moment when he arrived in the diocese. True or false, that which is said of men often occupies as important a place in their lives, and above all in their destinies, as that which they do. Monsieur Myriel was the son of a councillor of the Parliament of Aix. Hence he belonged to the nobility of the bar. It was said that his father, destining him to be the heir of his own post, had married him at a very early age, 18 or 20, in accordance with the custom, which is rather widely prevalent in parliamentary families. In spite of this marriage, however, it was said that Charles Myriel created a great deal of talk. He was well-formed, though rather short in stature, elegant, graceful, intelligent. The whole of the first portion of his life had been devoted to the world and to gallantry. The Revolution came. Events succeeded each other with precipitation. The parliamentary families, decimated, pursued, hunted down, or dispersed. Monsieur Charles Myriel emigrated... Ow! Monsieur Charles Myriel... My throat's making noises. Monsieur Charles Myriel immigrated to Italy at the very beginning of the Revolution. There, his wife died of a malady of the chest, from which she had long suffered. He had no children. What took place next in the fate of Monsieur Myriel? The ruin of the French society of the olden days, the fall of his own family, the tragic spectacles of '93, which were perhaps even more alarming to the emigrants who viewed them from a distance, with the magnifying powers of terror. Did these cause the ideas of Renunciation? Renunciation. My stomach's making noises now. Did these cause the ideas of renunciation and... Did these cause the ideas of renunciation and solitude to germinate in him? Was he, in the midst of these distractions, these affections which absorbed his life, suddenly smitten with one of those mysterious and terrible blows, which sometimes overwhelm, by striking to his heart? A man whom public catastrophes would not shake, by striking at his existence and his fortune. No one could have told. All that was known was that when he returned from Italy, he was a priest. In 1804, Monsieur Muriel was the cure of B. He was already advanced in years and lived in a very retired manner. About the epoch of the coronation. Epoch? Epic? I think it's epoch. Epic. Epic. About the epoch of the coronation. Some petty affair connected with his curacy. Damn it, all these words. That was right. Epoch, it said, was the British pronunciation, so that was not wrong. Just what is not precisely known took him to Paris. Among other powerful persons to whom he went to solicit aid for his parishioners was Monsieur le Cardinal Fesch. One day, when the Emperor had come to visit his uncle, the worthy curé, who was waiting in the anteroom, found himself present when His Majesty passed. Napoleon, on finding himself observed with a certain curiosity by this old man, turned round and said abruptly, "Who's this good man who is staring at me?" We're going to look at see if we can find "Sire," said Monsieur Muriel, "you are looking at a good man, and I at a great man. Each of us can profit by it." "And I at a great man. Each of us can profit by it." We're at the beginning of a new book, which means we gotta save voices. Who's this good man? That very evening, the Emperor asked the Cardinal the name of the curé. And some time afterwards, Monsieur Muriel was utterly astonished to learn that he had been appointed Bishop of D. What truth was there, after all, in the stories which were invented as to the early portion of Monsieur Muriel's life? No one knew. Very few families had been acquainted with the Muriel family before the Revolution. Monsieur Muriel had to undergo the fate of every newcomer in a little town, where there are many mouths which talk and very few heads which think. He was obliged to undergo it, although he was a bishop, and because he was a bishop. But after all, the rumors with which his name was connected were rumors only. Noise, sayings, words, less than words. Palabres, as the energetic language of the South expresses it. Palabre, as the energetic language of the South expresses it. However that may be, after 9 years of episcopal power and of residence in D, all the stories and subjects of conversation which engrossed petty towns and petty people at the outset had fallen into profound oblivion. No one would have dared to mention them. No one would have dared to recall them. Monsieur Muriel had arrived at D, accompanied by an elderly spinster, Mademoiselle Baptistine, who was his sister and 10 years his junior. Their only domestic was a female servant of the same age as Mademoiselle Baptistine. Oh, we have 2 texts. Their only domestic was a female servant of the same age as Mademoiselle Baptistine. Damn it! Their only domestic was a female servant of the same age as Mademoiselle Baptistine. Baptistine. Their only domestic was a female servant of the same age as Mademoiselle Baptistine, and named Madame Magloire, who, after having been the servant of Monsieur le Cure, now assumed the double title of maid to Mademoiselle. Who, after having been the servant of Monsieur le Cure, now assumed the double title of maid to Mademoiselle and housekeeper to Monseigneur. Mademoiselle Baptistine was a long, pale, thin, gentle creature. She realized the ideal expressed by the word respectable, for it seems that a woman must needs be a mother in order to be venerable. She had never been pretty. Her whole life, which had been nothing but a succession of holy deeds, had finally conferred upon her a sort of pallor and transparency, and as she advanced in years, she had acquired what may be called the beauty of goodness. What had been leanness in her youth had become
Sorry. Ow. Oh, jeez. Oh. I am so sorry. My, this thing is now all sticky. Let's see if we can stand this guy up. It lost its sticky a couple days ago. Now it's covered in hair. My cat likes to come in here sometimes. All right, I need to re-glue that. All right. Weird angle now. We'll get there. Try to move it up like that. There we go. Sorry. All right, what had been... There it is. Let me make sure we're at the right distance now. This is not an attractive angle, right? Oh well. What had been... I don't know where I am on the page. What had been... There it is. What had been leanness in her youth had become transparency in her maturity. I don't know this word. D-I-A P-H-A-N-E-I-T-Y. Diaphaneity. And this diaphaneity allowed the angel to be seen. She was a soul rather than a virgin. Her person seemed made of a shadow. There was hardly sufficient body to provide for sex, a little matter enclosing a light, large eyes forever drooping, a mere pretext for a soul's remaining on the earth. Madame Magloire was a little, fat, white old woman, corpulent and bustling, always out of breath. In the first place, because of her activity, and in the next, because of her asthma. On his arrival, Monsieur Muriel was installed in the episcopal palace. Episcopal? Episcopal? Episcopal. it's not right. I said it right. With the honors required by the imperial decrees, which class a bishop immediately after a major general. The mayor and the president paid first call on him, and he in turn paid the first call on the general and the prefect. The installation over, the town waited to see its bishop at work. Thank you for joining Bite at a Time Books today, while we read a bite of one of your favorite classics. Again, my name is Bree Carlile, and I hope you join us tomorrow for the next bite of Les Miserables. First chapter down.